Paul Danner, Alliance MMA went public earlier this month. Stock's traded down a little bit from its IPO price, but it's just the first round, right?
That's right, Craig. We came out about 2.5 weeks ago, and we're in a cooling off period. We're not supposed to announce a lot of material activity yet, but we've got a lot of press coming. In fact, we've got like 6 or 8 releases coming out in the next several weeks, and I think people will be very excited when they read that we're finally starting to execute the plan that we laid out.
All right, let's take a step back and get the tail of the tape. Tell me more about Alliance MMA. You promote mixed martial arts fights all across the country.
Right, that's our plan, is to eventually have a promotion in every major media market in the United States. Right now we've got 5. We're getting ready to add a couple of more, and eventually we'll have 15 to 18 or so. And our goal is to do about 125 or more events a year across the country.
And you have a diversified revenue stream. It's not just promoting the fights. You have sponsorships, and you also have your TV production company as well. Talk about how you split those revenue streams, which one's the biggest and which ones you want to grow.
Sure. Right now, currently, most of the revenue is derived from ticket sales for the events. As we get bigger and as we spread our base, the idea is to become attractive to national sponsors that want to hit all those markets with the demographic that we have. So eventually we think national sponsorships will be the biggest stream. Secondly, we have an electronic ticketing platform, as well as you mentioned the TV production and operation where we take all of our live content and we stream it, we archive it to do pay-per-view. We can do live TV, we can do lots of different avenues in the video distribution area.
So to a certain extent, yours is the minor league for UFC. Now, won't you lose some of your top talent if they graduate from Alliance MMA to the UFC?
Yeah, actually, if we're doing our job correctly, our intent is to produce the best quality that we can. We take guys from the amateur ranks into their early pro career, and then as we showcase them around the country, they'll move up to the UFC or Bellator or World Series of Fighting, any of the top tier. We really don't care where they go as long as they move up. Our job is to act as a conduit.
Can you talk about the dangers associated with mixed martial arts? Because this is not your average business. You have people fighting each other, and someone could potentially get killed.
Well, to be honest with you, the more I've learned about the sport, and I am not a long-time aficionado, I'm a recent convert, but it's interesting. There are actually fewer head injuries in the MMA space than there are in pro football. So, on a relative basis, yeah, it's a contact sport, it's a combat sport, but the injuries are not any more severe than other professional sports.
Well, you're a recent convert. There's a lot of converts out there. Talk about the growth in mixed martial arts fighting.
Well, depending on what you read and what you believe, some people claim that it's the fastest growing sport in the world right now, and certainly in the United States, especially in the demographic, the millennial demographic, you're hard pressed to find somebody under the age of 40 that has not attended a fight or at least done pay-per-view or is very into the sport. I mean, it's amazing.
And is your goal to eventually pick a fight with the UFC, maybe grow large enough to take them on, or
No.
do you like being, to a certain extent, the minor leagues, the feeder league?
No, quite the contrary. We view what we do as very complementary to what they do. There will always be top tier, MMA promotions. What we understand exactly where we fit in the food chain. We want to act as a conduit. Our goal is to take this fragmented, regional operation the way it is in its current state and bring a lot more, form, so that we actually facilitate that movement. We think it'll be good for the industry, and we think it'll be good for the UFC as well as the other top tier promoters.
You said complementary. What about comps? Now, would the WWE, for example, be a good comp for you guys? What Vince McMahon's doing with wrestling? Because they started out as a feeder league, and eventually he took over the whole world of wrestling.
Yeah, we've studied that quite closely. We have people in our world that are very familiar with that. And I don't think that that's our intent at all. We think that by doing what we do, similar to what the NCAA does with the NFL, they're both very well entrenched. They have a very symbiotic relationship, and we think that we can do the same thing.
Well, Vince McMahon, he gets into the ring every now and then with his wrestlers. We're in the octagon right now. Would you ever get into the ring? You needed to settle something?
Yeah, I'm a lacrosse player, not an MMA guy, so I think I would probably get killed, even by somebody that weighs 100 pounds less than I do.
All right, well, thanks a lot. It's great stuff.
Thank you, appreciate it.